Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is coming back round to love again. And everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to find someone who will be their partner for the rest of their life. No one plans to be with someone and then the arguments start, right? And then it gets worse until eventually some people separate. They even get divorced. So, tonight's topic is, are you insecure in love? Are you insecure in love? You know, when you find someone and that person is the one that you say, you know what, we're going to be together forever. Normally, you have that kind of assurance, that kind of peace, that certainty that everything's going to go well, even though things may go wrong, problems may come to you, but you know that together you can face those problems and win that battle, if I can say that. But what happens when you lose your trust, you lose your faith in that person, and you don't feel so secure anymore? Well, that's tonight's topic. And I'll introduce you to my guest right after this testimony of someone who through faith, their life has changed. Have a look at this.
I grew up with a lot of internal issues because I used to see my dad abusing my mum. It was a very difficult thing for me to see at such a young age. It affected me deeply. I grew up with low self-esteem and I used to look for ways to fill that void that I had inside of me through being with the wrong kinds of people. I didn't know how to say no. I felt like I didn't know who I was, and I had a lot of anger towards my dad for what he had done. So I refused to see him, I refused to speak to him, and I felt very empty inside. I really searched for ways to try and to fill this emptiness, but nothing worked. I felt unsatisfied. The worst moment was when I almost ended up getting into a situation where I almost lost my virginity, but not because I liked being with the person, but because I didn't know how to say no, because I didn't have any control over myself. I felt like I was just led by people. So when I got into that situation, it really scared me, because I thought, what more can happen if I have no control over myself? I don't know how to say no to people. I was a people pleaser. It was when I decided that I'd had enough, when I got to a point where I'd literally had enough of being the way that I was. I'd had enough of feeling down and empty and sad. I'd had enough of being led by people and not having control over myself. And it was when I developed my faith in God and the steps that I was taught, and I learned to grow, to know myself, to know who I was. It was then that I took those steps to change, and I did an 180 degree turn on like the people who were bad influence on me. I said no to the way that I was. I determined that I would be a new person, I'd be a different person, and I took steps towards that. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it, and I'm really happy with the person that I am today. I'm completely different. That void that I had, it's been filled, and I'm so much more happy. I forgave my dad. We rebuilt our relationship. My family is complete, even though I came from a broken home, but I don't feel like I came from a broken home. I'm now happily married. I surround myself with people who are like-minded, so I know where I'm going, I'm focused, and I'm happy with life.
So there you have it, someone who beat their problems through the power of faith. Now, I want to show you my guest for this evening. Her name is Natalie. How are you doing, Natalie?
I'm good, thank you.
You're going to be sharing your story with us, right? Because you have a quite interesting story regarding love.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out rosy in the beginning.
No.
But how are things today?
Good, really good.
So you're going to hear her story later on in the program. Now, if you are insecure in love, you know, maybe you're seeing signs of things going wrong right now. and you're just brushing them underneath the carpet. You know, you're seeing signs that your partner, you're not sure, but you're not taking any steps. And I'm sure Natalie saw signs in the beginning, but she never did anything about it until it was too late. We'll find out later on anyway. But maybe this is you. This is what you're seeing. And if you don't take steps to do something about it now, this secure love, right? Everything that's like, you know, every day is Valentine's Day for you. You're in like a honeymoon. Things will eventually go wrong. And just ask someone who is now depressed because of a breakup in their relationship. They are on the bottle, they are drinking. They don't even have energy to get up in the morning. You know, they are so down, they've lost their self-worth. They don't even think that anyone would want them anymore. So this person has lost this security. They don't believe that, you know, anyone will want them. They don't believe that love can exist for them anymore. We want to help you on tonight's program. And Natalie's story, I'm sure, will inspire you as well when things do go wrong. That the power of faith is always there and you have it. You can also find a solution to your problems. If you want to email us, actually, if you want to give us a call at any time during this program, the line's open right now. You can speak to someone who will be able to hear your story and give you advice or even pray for you. The number will be on the screen throughout the program if you want to call in, and that number is 0207 686 6300. If you want to email us, you can email us at help@findinganswers.tv. We also have Twitter. You can tweet us at Find Answers TV. And if you would like to catch up on any programs, past programs of Finding Answers, you just search for Finding Answers on our YouTube channel. Right, back to tonight's topic of, are you insecure in love? We're going to go for a break soon. If you want to, or you know someone who might be interested in watching this program, or yourself, then don't turn over. Don't flip the channels. Stay with us because Natalie will be sharing her story right after this break. And also, right at the end of the program, we'll be praying for you. We're going to put into practice what Natalie does today. The reason why her life is the way it is today, her love life today, is because of prayer, faith in God. And we're going to be putting that to good use at the end of the program. So stay with us for the next, say, 45 minutes or so. All right? We'll be back right after this break.
Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, If it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
My Channel TV, featuring a kaleidoscopic daily dose of programming. Stay with us every day and explore politics, economics, science, technology, lifestyle, culture, sports, and much more. We're here to amuse you, to keep you updated, and to keep you company. We're My Channel, your channel on Sky 203.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is, are you insecure in love? Do you have those niggling doubts regarding your partner? You don't feel safe with your partner. You don't trust your partner anymore. Is that a future for you? No. Do you want to be with someone like that? Or can faith actually change things around for you? That's what we're going to discuss tonight on Finding Answers. Now, let's introduce my guest to you. Her name is Natalie Mathurun.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Natalie, welcome to the program. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Now, you're not nervous, right?
I was slightly, but I'm all right.
Brilliant. So, tell us about your story, because you were dating someone.
Yeah.
And did things actually start out okay in the beginning, or was it like really bad from the start?
No, it wasn't bad from the start. We was friends for quite a while prior to that, and then, you know, we started growing an attraction to one another. And you know, I kind of knew going into the relationship, making it official, I wanted to, but there was something in my mind that I kind of sometimes somewhat questioned whether I could get anything good out of the relationship. But what it was that, you know, the good qualities in my then boyfriend, he kind of surpassed all what was negative, and I didn't see, you know, his way of life that wasn't kind of in line of the way I was living and my values.
So before we go into that, tell us, how old were you when you first met him?
We was like 17,
right.
16, 17.
So still young.
Yeah.
Right, very young. So you met, how did you meet? Through friends?
Through friends, okay. Yeah. So we met through friends. And yeah, our friendship grew. And then, yeah, it was 18 that we started officially dating.
Okay.
At the beginning, yeah, it was okay. It wasn't bad. But I don't know, I feel like I kind of, even though like mine and his values was totally different, but because I saw the good in him, like, you know, his character, and he was funny, and he was, you know, in our friendship, where our friendship grew, I thought, you know, there is potential there,
right, you
know, for a long-lasting relationship.
So, you know, those things, you know, most people would say that's a good enough reason to start dating someone,
yeah,
to start going out with someone.
Yeah.
But you know, those are superficial, those are just scratching the surface. So you started dating him because he was funny,
yeah,
you know, and
caring.
Caring,
yeah,
right?
Somewhat.
He gave you attention,
yes,
he liked you, etc. You had things in common. So you started dating.
Yeah.
And how was things in the beginning?
In the beginning, of course, I was at university, so we was living quite a distance actually from each other. So it seemed okay, to be honest. And on the weekends I would come down and we would meet and everything. And he was actually my real first boyfriend at the time, it was like the first more serious relationship that I had got into, and I did trust him at that point, although there was a trust there, but then because of his lifestyle where he was always going out with friends, and he was kind of in somewhat like gang culture and drug culture, as well.
Gang and drug culture?
And drug culture, yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's what I was saying, where my values was quite different. I was very education-driven, career-driven, and I was never involved in any of that. Mm-hmm. But because where I saw something good in him, I thought, I went into the relationship thinking that I can change him.
So you mentioned he was into gangs, and was he taking drugs or selling drugs?
Yeah, selling.
He was selling drugs. And did he make that known to you in the initial stages?
Initially.
Or did you find out by?
Yeah, I found, as we was in the relationship, I found out as we went along.
Right.
This is what it is.
Okay.
And also, and he used to actually, smoke as well, along with his friends, and drinking and smoking cannabis and
so
stuff.
when you found out that, he was taking drugs, he was selling drugs, his friends and the circles he was with were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Didn't you think, hold on a minute, what's going on here? How come you didn't tell this to me in the beginning?
Yeah.
Did you question him, or was it like, okay, he's young?
Yeah, it was just because, at that time, a lot of young guys were doing that, as even today. And, as long as I was like, okay, I'm not selling, I'm not doing that, it didn't really, at that time, I didn't see anything of it. I was just like, even people around me, university, it was almost like a norm that, people would be selling like cannabis or...
Did he go to university?
No.
No, he didn't.
No.
So he was, working?
He was in college.
Right.
Yeah, he was in college, and then he went on to, he was doing some work as well. I
say that because in my case, when I went to university, it's like my thoughts, I had to think kind of higher than where I came from.
Yeah.
I'm mixed with a different type of people now. University, everyone's, you've got middle class, not high class, but you've got working class, you've got everyone from all backgrounds.
Yeah.
And so it's a chance to get to know people and mingle with people. Of course, if you want to develop in your social skills, of course you've got to be more open. Whereas if I didn't go to university, I probably would have stayed, where I was on my estate, and had that kind of mentality where I wouldn't have aspired to much more than that, for example. So you had these two different people from these two backgrounds. You found out he was taking drugs and also selling drugs.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle that he had and his friends, wasn't that a warning sign for you? I mean, you said he was funny, he was caring, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
But you didn't see it at that time, right?
Yeah, at that time, I was just, I was just blind to it. I was just going along, stupidly with it. And I was just like, I knew that, he was smoking cannabis. I knew that he was, going out and partying and whatnot. And, I just, because it was like everyone was doing it at that time, it just was like the norm. And I was just like, I just went along with it. And also when I was at university, it was almost like I had kind of like two separate groups of friends actually. I had, my group of friends that wouldn't do that, and then I would come back to my partner, and then, with mixing with his friends and some of the others. Right. Yeah, so it was like, there was a distinction in the two different lifestyles. Yeah. But, I genuinely really, really liked him, and I was like, I believed that he would change. And I always...
Did you believe he would change, or did you think you could change him?
Yeah, well, that's it. I thought that I could change him.
Right.
Yes.
Now, tell us then, when did things start to go wrong?
After, I think it was just over a year into our relationship, I found out that nearer to the beginning, when we made it official, that he had cheated, and he, you know...
While being with you?
Yeah. And I found this out at a later stage. Okay. And yeah, that was really, really, because like I said at the beginning, you know, my values and my aspirations and how I kind of, you know, stuck to it, but I kind of lowered my standards, lowered my values, and accepted his way of life. And I gave myself to him, you know, like I never given myself to any guy before. And when I did find out, it was hurtful. It was like, you know.
When you say you gave yourself to him, did that also mean kind of, did you start taking drugs as well and going to places where he was going? Yeah,
I was going, you know, partying anyway when I was at uni, but with him, yes. Yes, I've tried cannabis. I was like, you know, in the mix.
That was something that you didn't ever do before?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Right.
I wasn't into that before.
So now you were also taking drugs as well?
Yeah, but not like consistently. Yeah. Like I wasn't. It was just like, you know, I've tried it there and then yeah.
So when did things actually go wrong for you? Because now he cheated on you. Mm-hmm. Did you kind of approach him when you did find out and say, why don't you tell me? Or did you kind of, some women do, they kind of brush it underneath the carpet and hope still that he would change?
Yeah, no, I didn't brush it under the carpet at all. Actually, I was, you know, that actually brought the worst out of me. I was really, really angry, you know. I wasn't really an angry person, but, you know, I was fuming, and I can't even exactly remember the words that came out my mouth, but...
You can't say it now.
Yeah, it was just, you know, awful, and I was just like, okay, this relationship, that's it.
You said it's over?
Yeah, I said it was over.
And did you actually break up?
For a while, we wasn't together, wasn't seeing each other, but then he kind of convinced me that he was sorry, and that it was, you know, his reason for that was that it was that time at the beginning of our relationship, we wasn't that serious, but now, you know, right, we are serious. So, and I thought, okay, I was resistant, but then I thought to give him another chance.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, did you kind of believe him when he said that, you know what, all this, the talk of I've changed and it's in the beginning, or did you kind of like lose, you know, your value, your self-worth? Did you think I can't exist without him? I need him in some way, and so when he did say all that talk, then you accepted him back?
Yeah, if I'm totally honest, when he did say, you know, that he's sorry and everything, I was a bit apprehensive at the beginning, and then I was like, okay, let me give him another chance. But I do think it was because where it was my first proper relationship, I was in awe of him, and it was like, okay, this is the guy for me. So in a sense, that value was lost there. Yeah. That self-worth was lost there, and then, you know, we got back together. You got back together,
but you couldn't really trust him 100%.
No.
Could you?
No, not at all.
So were you like always tiptoeing around, checking his phone, you know, that sort of thing?
It was crazy.
Where are you going? How was it afterwards?
I was checking phone calls, because to be honest, when I found out that he had cheated, it was via text. So it was a text message that he had received, and I just, you know, just picked the phone up, and that's how I found out. So going through the texts was a regular thing, going through his phone, asking where he's going.
Was that in front of him or while the phone was lying
While
around?
the phone was like not in front of him.
Right.
Yeah.
And did you find anything afterwards?
No, I wasn't. No, I didn't.
No.
I wasn't finding anything. Like maybe his friends saying, "Oh, do you want to come out here?" and everything. But I used to think, oh, maybe there's going to be girls where they're meeting up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would still go out with his friends.
Yeah.
And how would you feel at home?
I would think that maybe he is doing something. I was very, the trust was not there, but it reverted back to me in the way that it was almost like I seeked vengeance kind of thing. So I was like, okay, if he's doing all of that, then I'm gonna do what I want. I still want to be in that relationship, but it was like it made me become something that I wouldn't imagine that I would be. And, I was seeking attention from other guys. I would be flirting. That was kind of my defense mechanism.
So while he was out or doing his thing,
yeah.
When you say flirt, would that be at uni, at work? Would you go out to a nightclub yourself?
Yeah, uni, going out to parties and, clubs and, with friends and meet, where friends would go and just chill with guys. I would be there. And it was almost like I was, living a single life. Like I wasn't, I didn't have somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I mean, it sounded at the time as though it was fun. You kind of did it in the moment. Let me enjoy myself. I'm out with my friends. There are guys checking me out. Let's enjoy ourselves. But I can imagine when you got home, the feeling was a lot different, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
It was hurtful inside, really.
Was that because of the situation or because of kind of what you did to yourself? You kind of let yourself down?
Yeah, it's because I let myself down. Like I said, I became someone that I wouldn't imagine that I would have become. And I was just really, being, a woman in a relationship, but then I'm doing all of that. It was like, it was devaluing myself.
Yeah.
Was
that the worst point? Tell us about the worst kind of point in the relationship.
The worst point?
Was there a time when you really felt down? Maybe he said something or he did something. What was that time when you felt this is the lowest point?
It was, to be honest, it was really ongoing. It was just ongoing. Yeah, I felt really low throughout all that time, even though I was kind of masking it with, partying, I'm enjoying myself, taking pictures, social media, and it, on the outside I looked happy, but then I wasn't. And I think the lowest point in the relationship is when my partner, he went to prison actually, and he went away, and I was saying, oh, I'm still gonna just be there for him, because at that time, even though all of this was going on, the family ties got kind of close. So I knew his mum, he knew my mum, and it got to that stage, and yeah, that was quite low. Although at that moment in time, I felt it was like a momentary trust because he was in prison, but I still felt obviously low and thinking, when he does come out, is it going to work? Is it worthwhile? Is it worth the wait?
Right.
Things going to get better.
How long was he in prison for?
I think it was like 18 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So eventually when he came out, did things actually change, or did it kind of eventually go back to how it was before?
He changed a lot.
He changed in prison?
He changed, yeah.
Okay. We're going to hear about this change, right? You've heard what Natalie went through in terms of her relationship. And this is something that's very common in relationships. It's what I mentioned in the beginning. When things don't go right, whether it's in the beginning, in the middle of the relationship, And because in Natalie's case it was her first serious partner, she wanted to brush things underneath the carpet. You know, she saw signs, she saw things weren't going right, but she thought things could change. If you don't do something about it, I mean, good old-fashioned communication, approaching the person, you have your doubts about the person. So instead of just being open and honest and saying, look, what's going on? To try and find a solution, find answers even. You know, instead of that, people tend to just, as Natalie said, he would change. Things would change. You know, he said it's nothing, so that's it. And no, it's the person that you love. You could even be married to the person. There could be a ring on your finger. But if you don't have that trust, if you lose that trust, then what do you have in a relationship? So we're going to find out about her partner's change and also how Natalie changed as well, because it wasn't all down to her partner's cheating. Of course, she had to change as well. You're going to find out after the break how faith, again, it comes back to that subject of faith. Not counseling, but what faith did to change this couple. You're going to hear her story right after this break.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier?
Come on, spin me around now. I don't wanna go home. 'Cause when you hold me like this, you know my heart skips a beat. I know I should, but I can't leave it alone. And when you hold me like this, that's when my heart skips a beat. You gotta love this, man.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. If you just joined us, tonight's program or tonight's topic is called Are You Insecure in Love? Now, before we hear how Natalie, through faith, turned things around, let's have a look at Christy now on the streets of London to find out what members of the public had to say about this topic.
Hi, it's Christy here on Finding Answers, and tonight's topic is, are you insecure in love? Although love may be seen as something special, there are many cases where love has also caused a lot of pain. So, could that be the reason why people are insecure in love? Well, let's see what the public have to say. Why are certain people afraid to fall in love?
Because they've been hurt before, or they've seen people they love hurt before, so they don't want to put themselves in that situation.
I guess maybe they're scared of being hurt. Maybe they've been hurt before. I don't know. I've fallen in love a couple of times, so I have no experience of that.
Yeah, issues that happened to them in the past which make them scared, I suppose, of letting other people in.
I think past experience is one thing. So, you know, things that happen with your parents, divorces, bad experiences. I think bad experience is probably one of the key things that it can put you off. So what's happened in the past affecting the future, basically. My question would be, how and when do you know that you've fallen in love?
How and when do you know when you're falling in love? Okay, that's a tricky one, but I like to say that, you know, we don't fall in love. I would say you know when you're in love actually I think love comes when you're actually married. I don't think it's real love when you are, you know, you've proposed to that person and even your wedding. You know, there's an attraction, there's love there, but the real love comes like wine. You know, as wine matures, it gets better and better. So you might love someone, but I don't think it's fully matured yet until you're a number of years in that marriage. So it all depends on the individual. You know, there's attraction, which is not love, right? But then there's love, which I believe that's the important bit, right? And in my case, I can only say for myself, you know, as I've gotten on in my marriage to my wife of, I better not get it wrong, 18 years now, I think it is, our love has grown. It really has developed and got better over the years. What I feel for her now and the love that I have for her now isn't the love that I had on our wedding day. It grows and it develops. So that's my answer in short. So back to Natalie then, regarding her faith and how she used it to see things change. So Natalie, tell us then, how did things actually change for you?
Well, like I was saying before, you know, my partner of that time, he went into prison. When he came out,
yes,
he's grew faith. He found God in prison.
Really?
Yeah. And, you know, that's where his faith developed. So when he came out, he was, you know, transformed.
In prison?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What about yourself? Because some people say that it's his fault. He's the one that should change. But if he changed, you're going to still have these trust issues and, I don't know, grudges or whatever you had.
And that's what it was. And that's what it was. And that's why, you know, we couldn't develop because, you know, I still had these trust issues and these insecurities. But what happened was when I was at uni, I went, one of my friends, she invited me to her place of worship.
Right.
And I went there and it was different because, you know, I've been previous, you know, meetings and places of the sort, but it was different the way that they prayed, and I had to just, you know, just get used to everything. And
so you had a faith in God? You did before?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I did, but it wasn't, you know, I believed in God, but in terms of having faith, it wasn't really there. Yeah, I believed that there was a God, but... And
the fact that, you know, you say you believed in God, and this is what many people do. They believe that God is there, but then they still go and do certain things. So, as you said, you started to now smoke. You started to now go out and kind of get attention, flirting, the attention that your partner should have given to you.
Yeah.
So if you believe in God, really, you shouldn't be doing those things. So
Exactly.
as you said, it was a faith,
Yeah.
but not a real faith.
Yeah.
It was an idea that God was there, but you
Yeah.
had no connection with God.
Exactly.
So you went along to your friend's place of worship.
Yeah.
And what happened there?
I just learned a lot there regarding faith, and what I learned was that, you know, in terms of my relationship, what I learned was that I had to, you know, fix myself within me. And, you know, there was a lot of grudges, there was a lot of resentment, as you can imagine, from everything that was going on. And, you know, I had to let go of that. Until I let go, then the relationship would never work.
Now that, you know, anyone who might right now be in the same situation as you were would say, how can I do that? How can I forgive him? He cheated on me.
Yeah.
You know, but as you mentioned rightly, you know, you had to fix yourself, meaning you were broken.
Yeah.
You needed to kind of, you know, start from the beginning and kind of work internally. And that's what faith, that's what prayer does. It helps you on the inside, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, how did prayer help you?
Prayer helped me through understanding and also giving me that inner peace. And also, you know, through prayer, I got that wisdom and understanding to see that, you know, if I held on to that them grudges and them resentment, it's only going to damage myself even more. You know, it's not that I'm just affecting the other person. In me, I'm going to crush.
Yeah.
And it's not, you know, things will never change. And that was, you know, through that prayer, you know, that's the understanding that I got and the answer that I got. And, you know, I got that peace inside of me and that strength to let go.
Right.
To let go and, you know, also think ahead of what would change.
And that's what God does. God, he doesn't just want to help us first. You know, once we get the help, we kind of understand about the other person as well. That just as I have mistakes, they have mistakes as well. And, you know, when we're not forgiven by God, then it's like that person is always at fault. Exactly. It's their mistake. It's them. And we fail to look at ourselves. We fail to look at what we need to change about ourselves. And through faith, prayer, that's what God does. He shows us what we need to do. Now, apart from working on yourself, as you said, you learned to forgive him. You kind of valued yourself again.
Yeah.
And what about your thoughts? How did your mind change and your actions outside? What did you start doing?
Naturally, I just, you know, I stopped, you know, looking at messages and, you know, asking where you're going, or, you know, even what I used to do was when I was ill, I used to kind of exaggerate that I was ill so that, you know,
you could stay.
He won't go out and he can stay with me.
And look after you.
Yeah. But those things I just stopped doing. And I just really started, you know, seeking my faith and, you know, seeking the strength from God to be better and to let go of all of this and, you know, to see even the changes in my partner and not look at the, you know, at the past, because what I used to do is throw the past back
in his
at
face,
him. Yeah, all the time. And, you know, I learned, you know, through prayer, and I just learned to not do that anymore.
What is past in the past is in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you know, I started appreciating him more for the, you know, for the changes that he's had and also the positive things as well.
Yeah.
You know, and he saw that in me, he saw that change in me, and then, you know, the relationship changed, because he obviously, no guy would want to be around someone that is consistently, you know, looking through their phone and doing these things, and it's just, there's no peace there. There is no peace.
You said Michael, when he was in prison, he changed. He found God in prison.
Yeah.
Right? And did you see that change when he came out? Was that kind of something that was a done deal? It happened.
I saw the change in character, definitely, in his character. It was still a fight for him in terms of, you know, not going back to that old lifestyle. There was, you know, that temptation there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gradually just fought against it.
Right, brilliant.
He fought against it, and then, yeah, it just developed from there, and that was inspiring as well.
Really?
To myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In prison,
to
actually.
see that change, yeah.
So you see, what a wonderful story. Now on the sofa we have Michael, her husband. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
You all right?
I'm good, thank you.
You were sitting there quietly hiding. So tell us, Michael, you know, about your change. How we don't have much time, but today you are both happily married.
Yeah.
Right. How long have you been married now?
Nearly 2 years.
It's okay. You can sit together now. You can close up.
It'll be 2 years in September.
2 years in September. Yeah. Okay. So tell us about the change that took place then. While you were in prison, what actually happened?
I went in prison for GBH, so right. I attacked someone. That's the reason that I went into prison. Yeah, while I was in prison, obviously Natalie, she explained how I was when I was before I went inside. But when I actually went in prison, that's when my life completely changed. When you're actually in prison, it's just, you're in confined space, and really you haven't really got much to do, so.
Apart from think.
Apart from think, exactly. So I thought a lot, obviously, people were writing me letters. My wife, she was writing, well, my girlfriend then, she was writing me letters. And that's where my life changed. My faith in God, it just totally changed. And when I did come out, eventually, she saw the difference. I saw the difference.
So who changed first? Was it you in prison, or was it Natalie? Who changed first?
I would say
it's kind of
it was both. We both changed in a sense, because obviously
more or less at the same time.
Because she saw, obviously, when I'm speaking to her over the phone within prison, she's seeing how I've changed, and obviously I'm in a way aspiring her, you know, of me, how I'm changing as well. So it's both of us changing in a way in the same time.
So did you think, Natalie, that him being in prison, oh God, this is it, but out of everything, it was actually a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like God had a plan for both of you.
It was a blessing, definitely, in disguise. It was
a blessing in disguise, exactly.
Definitely.
So you see, sometimes when we go through problems, when there are difficulties in life, in our lives, sometimes, as Michael said, it's a blessing in disguise. All right? So today, how are you? How are both of you today?
Really good.
Yeah?
Yes, our marriage is blessed.
No more drugs, no more arguing, no more cheating.
I was gone a long time, no more.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much for coming and sharing both your stories with us, all right?
Yeah.
So, we're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we are going to have the prayer, and we have the glass of water ready. You can get yours. We're going to go for a short break. When we come back, we'll be saying the prayer with you. If you would like a prayer, if you are insecure, not just in love, but in any other situation, then join us for the prayer after this break.
Where DKW a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they work. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing?
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Hi everyone, I'm James.
And I am Helena.
Join us here every Saturday at 3 p.m. for Love Talk,
the show that teaches you how to love intelligently.
On my channel, Sky 203.
See you there.
Love Talk on my channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Follow my channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before we go for the prayers we normally do, just remember, God, no matter what your situation, related to love, related to relationships, related to trust, there is one person that you can trust who will never, ever let you down. And that is God. And I know you might be watching and you might be saying, oh, this religious stuff. Where is God? You know, God can't change the world. He wants to use you to make a difference where you are. That's how things will change in wider society. So instead of thinking about things that can't be changed yet, start with yourself, right? If you're going through any problems, you are hurt, then God wants to use you. So it will have a ripple effect. Once you are helped through faith, you are blessed, you'll be able to pass that on to someone else. And it continues, the chain, right? So God wants to help you tonight. And if you want this help, then join me and thousands of others for the prayer right now.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your family and loved ones, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I pray for all the viewers joining me in prayer now. This person who has felt insecure, who doesn't trust not only their partner, but they don't trust anyone because of what they've gone through. My God, when you created man, you also created woman, for them both to be together, to be happy. My Lord, if this person with their partner is unhappy for whatever reason, then just like when a car is damaged, when something goes wrong, they go to the car maker. That car maker knows what to do to fix that problem. And you've created marriage. You created love. So when things go wrong, we can come to you because you're able to fix it also. And that's what you did with Natalie and Michael. Even though they went through problems, but you helped them individually so that their marriage will be a blessing. Lord, I pray now and I ask you to bless this water, that when this person will drink it, let the pain and hurt, the trust issues, whatever is affecting this person inside, may this person be healed now. Healed from their past, healed from that hurt, my God. I pray for this individual so that once the change takes place within them, they'll be able to understand the hurt and pain that their partner has been going through, and also help them through faith to get to know you. This is what I pray, my God, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. You may drink this water now and receive this inner healing through faith. Okay, well, that's it for another Finding Answers. Join us for the next time. We'll have another inspirational story. And if you want to have success, find success, remember, it's just a prayer away, okay? God is there waiting to hear your prayer. Until the next time, have a wonderful night. God bless you.